How long have you been here then, Christy?
Since 2004.
And I mean, just look at the place.
Yes.
First of all, it's amazing, and the fact that even the oldest part is still one of the most dynamic, I think.
Yes.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
It's stunning. And of course that would have been the entrance to the inner court.
Right.
And you've got this beautiful porch.
I mean, to say the church had a bit of money to spend back then is an understatement, because
It is, yeah.
to replicate anything like we're seeing here, and I know most of it's in ruin thanks to Henry.
Yes.
Henry VIII, curse him. And it's strange because this was one of the last places to be taken over by King Henry VIII. I mean, it really was considered a national jewel in the crown.
Yes.
And I think Henry was a little bit reluctant because the followers who were here, some of them stood up to him. And I mean, when the rest of the country were completely folding.
No, not here. Not here.
Is that just a North Yorkshire thing, is it?
I think so. You know, we were bred like that. You know. Don't take any rubbish from anyone, even if they're the king, you know.
I gather that. I mean, to the degree of them sending a special force to destroy the whole thing. Tell you all of the history stuff a bit later on. But the whole ghost bit. Now, what's here? Who's here? What's moving about? Because again, when we mentioned it, you said, "Oh, of course we're haunted. We've got all this going on." What have you heard and what have you seen?
Not seen, but felt.
Right.
Quite often, particularly when I'm here on my own, or you know, there's just a few of us. As I walk up this path,
right,
I always feel as though there's someone or something looking, keeping an eye.
Right.
From down there.
It's not that dark monk I keep hearing about.
No. Sadly, that dark monk is an invention.
Is it?
Yeah, I know. It's a right shame, but yeah, because there was no monks here.
Right.
There were canons.
Right.
And people assume that in all the monastic houses that you had monks.
Right.
But no, these were religious priests, and they were a step above the monks.
Right. Which is probably why Henry wanted to get shot of them, because he was trying to wipe all that away, wasn't he?
That's right.
Make his own church. So, if there's no monks, are the canons here? And if not the canons, what's people seeing here?
They say that they have seen a black shape.
Right.
And there's a lovely story which can't be true, but it's a lovely
photo.
No, about when this apparition appears. A fairy bridge appears over the moat.
The drawbridge.
The drawbridge.
Yeah.
There's a slight problem. Priories don't
Never
have
had a drawbridge.
No, we don't have a moat either.
No, but what I also heard, which is interesting, there is a thing a great belief in many circles of people who are mediums of a thing called a portal, which is a bridge between this life and the other. And let's face it, we're all vibrating at different levels, so those kind of things are physically possible. And a lot of people that I've spoken to about Guisborough say it wasn't a drawbridge, it wasn't a moat, it was the opening of a portal, and you appeared from the other side and people saw him and got frightened and ran away. I kind of get that. Who knows? We'll leave that one open. But dark shapes, dark shadows. I found a ghost story from here from 1913 with two women being chased from the wood along Monk's Walk, and that made the local press in 1913. So whatever that was, I don't know, but it frightened them enough to run out.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you go back far enough, there's going to be, especially in old buildings.
I was going to say, you know, it's been around a bit.
I know. There's been plenty of time for these kind of things.
So
bless you for letting us do this. We appreciate it, because this lady's got to hang around till we're gone. We're already getting... Wow. God. All right. We're already... Hi, everybody. Alan Robson. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to stop this because there's so much activity in this place. Absolutely amazing. Kenny's here. Hey. Hollywood McShane behind the camera. My name's Alan Robson, as if you didn't know. And if you didn't know, tell everybody that we're here doing this kind of stuff, because we're coming to some of the most amazing places. We are at Guisborough. Any clue as to why it's called Guisborough?
The borough of Giz or something? I have no idea.
It is close to as simple as that.
Right.
There was a guy called, this is in the 800s, called Giger, or the Vikings, because he was a Viking, Giger. It goes, bit of the Dutch creeping in, Giger. And this was his borough. He fought for it, he dug it from the earth, he turned it into a farm and a homestead, and he defended it with his life. And it was Guisborough. Right. And when the Domesday Book was written in 1098, this was on the map as Guisborough.
Right.
And now it's switched off.
It's turned off.
It's turned off. It has start written on it. And
what, very weird.
What was that?
Yeah.
So, I know it's late. We're going into dark places. The only way we could get in here, this was this early, essentially. So we're here. It's too big a gig to turn down, and we wouldn't want to. The earliest thing that was ever in this place was a Saxon cemetery, and this whole place was built on top of a Saxon cemetery. Now, a lot of people say the reason this place is haunted is because it's built on land of non-believers,
right, on top of
by believers. Right. So there's that horrific split. And yes, this is a magnificent place and a place you really have to come. Look at this. Look at it. I mean, it's just the most magnificent. It's beautiful. And yet, as soon as you switch on any gadget, it's not just a little bit.
It's full on, isn't it?
It's absolutely kicking. As soon as we walked in here, someone said God.
Yeah.
First word we heard was God. Now this. Why'd you come? Is that what it?
That's what it sounded like.
Why'd you come? Well, we came here to see you. Are you here? Talk to us then.
I have never heard that deep a voice like that before.
We need to know who you are. What is your name? You hear voices of children there, unhappy as well. Did you hear that?
From here?
Children? I mentioned children. Heard a child's voice. Just heard children playing in the back. Now, because it's sunset, really, the sun's coming down. Are the kids about?
Could be, couldn't it? What direction should we go?
Absolutely. Which direction should we go?
North?
What? Somebody said stop there. Tell me whether you want us here. We come to see you. I'm just going to stop it for now because you can get totally wrapped up in that.
There's too much there, isn't it?
Now what we need you guys to do is to keep a really close watch. And if you see anything, screenshot it, get it back to us and let us know. And make sure you share. I do have there he is. Do have a Night Owl badge for you to win. Underneath there, if you share like mad, we would love to send you one of them. Please do. The bells make it very atmospheric. And although, I must say, although it is daylight and the sun's just starting to creep down, there's an eerie to it, isn't there?
It is, isn't it? It's a whole different atmosphere. I mean, look at that. That is just
otherworldly. You see the old church next door?
Yeah.
That church has got the body of the man who built this place. In the early 1100s, Robert de Brew. Now right. You say Robert the Bruce,
yeah,
but there was about 15 of them. He was the early ancestor of the Scottish king, and a lot of people say, why were the French so pally with the Scottish?
Yeah.
Because it was the French who conquered with William the conqueror,
Yeah.
and who owned this land and gave it to his followers like Robert. It was originally the Count de Montagne, who William gave to just after conquering Britain, and he passed it on to the de Brus family, Debrus, who became in Scotland Robert de Bruce.
Yeah.
And then Scotland and France have always had a real
Good
close tie. Certainly better than the.
I'm looking forward to going there because that looks.
Well, we have to head there. But first of all, just look at what you're talking about. Look at how big this place was. From all the way over there, there's the original entrance over yonder.
Yeah.
You've got the church at the far end,
Uh-huh.
which is old, and the body of Robert de Brus was found on this land.
Right. Yeah.
Big, strong, slightly battered corpse, and he's now in a cenotaph that is in the church over the fence there. And apparently, according to a medium from the early 60s, his entire spiritual presence is linked to the cenotaph. It's a beautiful looking thing. You can look at it online and you can see pictures of it. But according to what I've heard, if anybody lays a hand on the cenotaph and then comes here, they feel his presence. In other words, they get touched, they've heard his voice, they've had the breath on the back of the neck.
Right.
Now, whether that's just one of those old myths and legends, who the hell knows?
We'll find out.
But we will absolutely find out. The place that's the most haunted area around here is the wood. It's just over there.
Right.
Monk's Walk it's called. So we're going to be checking that out. The weird thing is that down here in these little areas, and we talked to Christy who said there were no monks here. And I understand why people kind of make that mistake. It's because if you see somebody wearing a long habit,
Yeah.
you don't say, oh, there's a priest.
No, you see a monk.
You say there's a monk.
Yeah.
And that's the way that it has shown itself.
Yeah.
Because the amount of stories. Kenny, can I ask you,
Yeah.
give me a mic
Yeah.
and go and see what Christine wants, because she's piling down here like a
Yeah, so
dose
put
of
that on
sauce.
here.
So there may well be an issue with something. Could be Kenny's car parked maybe.
Well, has he just left it?
No, we parked it outside the church.
Yeah.
Can you move your car just then?
The one that says no parking.
Yeah. It's not that we think we're big shots, honestly it's not, but so he was going to shift his car. Fine. So, the monk thing, just to get back to the monk thing, there is an original legend about this place, and if you look at, can you see how the land, there's a lot of it that looks underground. You see this massive thing here. It's a huge trench down, and the original story tells about how people used to live underground here, and according to 1,000 books, and I found this story everywhere, people were frightened of other tribes and they built tunnels below this ground. I'm getting voices again, damn it, coming from the wood.
Like a howling, isn't it?
Yeah, there's like a howling, and there's almost like a low tones coming from over here. We'll be in that wood. I'm going to let it get just an ounce darker first. However, all of the stories say that people were living underground to keep out of the way of these tribes that were harrying them. Now, there were so many passageways, and I don't know whether you've ever watched any documentaries about Cambodia and Pol Pot and his regime, and how the people that fought for him, and during the Vietnamese War, they would dig tunnels and they'd run across from one side of the battlefield to the other underground and pop up and shoot people. Well, it was similar. They had lots of entrances in all directions. And below here, there's one of the longest outstanding treasure stories. I mean, proper, real buried treasure here. And the story about how to get it was, and this is going to sound, you're going to need to be on serious drugs to really grab a hold of this one. Apparently, underground, massive treasure, huge treasure. to make any man rich for the rest of his days. And hundreds of people came looking for the tunnels. And then they were chased out, all of them, by what was described as a giant raven. Now you think, giant raven, something flapping about in a tunnel, it's usually a bat. But they were chased out nonetheless. One man, a guy called Crispin Tocketts, he was a cobbler from Guisborough, which is just over here. Literally, Guisborough town is just there. You sometimes hear the traffic in the distance. Crispin Tocketts, a cobbler, said, stuff this, I'm going into those tunnels and I'm not coming out until I've seen the treasure chest, and I'm going to drag it out. Now, the thing about the tunnels were, there were hundreds of them, and it was like a sheet of tartan. There was roads and tunnels in all directions. So nobody could, many people who went down those tunnels never found their way out and ended up dying. So you can understand why my husband went down there. I wouldn't go if I was you, Crispin. But Crispin Tocketts was so determined to get the treasure. And this is the story. And if you're going to believe anything, this is probably not the thing to believe. But the story is, Crispin Tocketts went down, deep, deep down, twice the depth of that, to beneath this whole thing, into the tunnels. And he decided he wasn't going to get lost. So he took a long ball of wool from a Yorkshire sheep, and he tied the wool to the end of a doorway, and he went down and he left the wool behind. Now it's very similar to one of the old myths and legends of the ancients in the Middle East. There's many a myth talking about, and he, I think it was for the Minotaur, wasn't it? Theseus and the Minotaur. So he had this wool so that he could find his way back. He got past the raven. The raven didn't show himself. Instead, the raven went straight to his boss, Satan, and Satan showed himself to this guy, Crispin Tocketts. Now, Crispin Tocketts screamed, howled, grabbed the wool and started running back, got out of the tunnel, told everybody, screamed, yelled, and eventually was driven insane by it. And nobody ever went back down the tunnels again. The tunnels were closed off, and this amazing priory was built. Well, that was the original story. So Penny's back. Don't know how easy it is for us to climb. Can you climb up this without falling over, Tony?
Hopefully.
Well, these are, don't climb on the stones, Tony, if you can avoid it. I know some of them we can't avoid. Oh, hang on a second, the torches are back there. I'm just grabbing them.
Parking. Head down to the main priory if we can, and don't forget share, but watch out, because even in the distance, the thing most people have seen in all the stories that I've read about the place, it's you see monks, I suppose priests, what's the difference? It's a canon.
Exactly, yeah.
But this,
Same kind of thing, isn't it?
apparently on the monk's wall, it's called monks' wall. There were no monks right down here. You see 4 monks or 4 priests walking with their hands together in a 4, 2 twos. Walking down. I think this place is where it gets a little bit darker.
All a bit, don't you see that one?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, just that one thing.
Do you want to carry the night vision camera? Can you talk into the night vision camera or not?
It's got the plastic seal on, so probably not.
Right.
It might hear him a bit. Just it's waterproofed.
Alright, I see.
But once we put the lights on, it's
It's weird because this whole place, you know, you're talking religion, but you're talking a religion that was contentious. So this whole place ended up getting fortified. You know, there was a plumber here apparently, and the roofs of all of the places long before this was built. That was the only old bit of the building is that bit over there, the far gate. You see it over yonder?
we'll have to go because you can't really see it much in here. We'll go when we get back.
Oh, that's weird. This went off.
No, it's still on. The screen won't stay on.
Alright, okay.
Just saves thingy. It's still recording. There's a light on the front.
You can see that how much land has happened since all of these things were here. Part of an immense, because this would be inside.
Yes.
All of this right away up there is all inside.
This wouldn't be grass, this would be floor,
No,
wouldn't it?
absolutely. And over the years, things sink down. But look at this,
You would think that there's other stuff like this under here.
right away the whole length.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at all of it.
Well, it was. If you want to know the reason why it was destroyed, I can tell you. King Henry VIII wanted to divorce his first wife,
Right.
Catherine of Aragon, right?
Yeah.
The Pope wouldn't let him, so essentially Henry VIII gave 2 fingers to the Pope and said, stuff it, I'm going to get a divorce whether you like it or not, and if your church won't allow me to have a divorce, I'm going to pull down all of your churches and I'm going to open a church of my own called the Church of England.
Right.
And that's how the Church of England began.
Right.
Now, the story of this place involves just right there. This was one of the last places, this is one of the richest priories in all of England at the time. It was said to be the 4th richest, and the other 3 were all in London. So it gives you an idea of the power and the majesty of this place.
You can tell, mate, can't you, looking at it?
It's dripping.
Oh, them bells won't
Bring out your dead, come on. Summon the spirits, come on, we're here to see you. Show yourself at the windows, show yourself at the doors. We want to see you climbing out of every hole in here. And as the sun starts to go down, have you noticed when we first arrived it was a nice warm day, now all of a sudden there's an icy chill coming right through us, and I don't know why, because it looks beautiful.
It does, but it's cold.
And the moon's out. Beautiful. So Henry demanded that all of the churches close down. If you were a Catholic priest, you had to stop preaching. You had to leave your building and give the building to the king. And the king, of course, said, okay, we'll give it to our new church and make the church one of the richest landowners in Britain. I know you've just walked past the grave without noticing it.
Yeah.
There's a
And
duck
that would
there.
have been in the base. This is probably the altar end of the church, I'm guessing, or the priory. So buried in the ground. I'll tell you about the people who are buried here, because there's an awful lot of them a little bit later on. So anyway, King Henry said, well, we've got to close down Guisborough, but Guisborough was massive, is massive.
Yeah.
But back then, when it was open, and the supporters of the church, and we've also got ducks. I know we turn this to Nature Watch every time, but the ducks are coming for a look around the priory too.
I'll get them.
But the story goes that the priests that were here, the canons, refused to close the place down. They said, we're not closing down, we have our following here, we have the people that come to our church who support it. Kenny's scared the goats. Another coffin.
Yeah.
So
That you lay last time, but it's longer. You wouldn't want to lie in this one though.
why is it a puddle full of gunk?
You can see it looks a bit wet and muddy.
Yeah. So we got another coffin. I'll tell you, as I say, I'll tell you about some of the people that are buried here. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Absolutely amazing.
You just get a full idea of the money and the power of the church back then. And of course, King Henry VIII didn't care. He just decided he was going to finish this whole place. So eventually, when they refused to close down of their own volition, he sent, King Henry all the way from London, sent troops to destroy Gisborough Priory, and they did. And the damage that they did was to be seen today as it was back then. They literally tore it down. They got the people living here. What the hell?
Ah, got me head though.
What?
It caught me hair. Oh,
What was that?
it just caught me hair. Did you say that? It actually caught me hair.
Did it? That's shouldn't have to torture it. It's probably like, get that out of my face.
Oh man.
Oh, there's a perfect place for pidgeys. Oh, look at it.
That caught me hair.
Come in here with a camera, you'll get all kinds moving around.
there's still one there,
you're not
look.
supposed to have a torch on with that. It's night vision.
I'll take your torch off, Ken.
Right. There's still one
We'll have
up
to leave
there.
that somewhere because it's not work. It's not for that. It's for pitch black.
Oh, it's for pitch
Yeah.
black, right?
Right.
So we should maybe leave it in there because it's dark.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or it's,
Leave it
if
here.
the,
Put
maybe
it on
the
that
next
wall, facing
maybe
out.
the next one, because that might be bigger. It looks a bit bigger
Right.
because it's
Ah, you don't want pigeons all over it, do
no.
you? Oh, that caught me hair.
See, we keep mentioning wildlife and our great love, because we're all a great part of the circle of life, but a pigeon-chinned Kenny, that's the headline so far.
I'm going to eat it when I catch it.
But look at this, how much land the church had, above anything else. Just look at this. Incredible, as far as the eye can see. They had so anyway, Henry VIII's men came to tear it down, and they forced a lot of the people who used to support the church to help them pull it down. They made the people who believed, because you got to remember, anybody that believed any other faith than Henry's new Church of England were considered the enemy. It was a real divisive thing for this country. However, when they got here, there were enough members of the church wanting to oppose Henry's army. Now, across the rest of the world, nobody wanted to face up to Henry VIII. He was vicious. He dealt with people immediately. And over this area, you got to remember this was inside. Over there, where the wood is, apparently a whole load of churchmen who were supporters of Guisborough Priory decided they were going to fight Henry, and they were chased into the wood, this wood here, and they were wiped out right there. So amazing story of Yorkshire grit, saying we're not going to put up with whatever you have to say. We've got Tales of Viking as well. What's the crack in here? Are we going to leave
There's
a
a
camera?
dead pigeon just on there.
There's a dead pigeon.
On the windowsill here, look. You see it?
Oh yeah, I see it.
It was also noises from up there, so I think there must be some more there.
But you can't get in if you're a pigeon because there's a metal grate.
Well, there's a
Horrible,
noise
it's
up there.
disgusting.
There's not. It stopped now, there was a noise up there. There! Did you hear that?
Did I hear it? Did I not? There's nothing can get up there, surely.
That must be a pigeon. It's got to be. The cobwebs everywhere.
Turn that off because it's just wasting the battery.
Right.
There
It's pointing at
can't
the
be
floor.
anything in there. What can make a noise like that?
Got the dead pigeon behind you. Tony.
I know. Just on the sill
No,
there.
just there. I can't have been
What was
very-
that? The whole. I felt the vibration in the whole room.
Exactly. That couldn't have been dead very long though, look at, because it's not decomposed or anything, so Yeah.
Oh, you must have caught that at home. What the hell's that? That's not a pigeon.
There's so many cobwebs.
That's not a pigeon.
Oh,
What the hell?
it's gotta be, man.
But the whole, you can feel the vibration.
Yeah.
What was that?
There's stuff here.
There's cobwebs and stuff falling down. That was horrific. That was really something though, that weird.
Really was.
Like this.
It's like a horse.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, I know. What the hell can that be?
I think that pigeon's got
Is that the necromancer in here?
Yeah. Kenny, can you?
I'll stand at the door so I can
Yeah, take
See you
the
properly.
torch off, Ken.
stand at the door so I can escape.
Come on, if you're
first.
here. Absolutely, if you're here.
Whoa! That is.
What the hell?
That's not right. That's not right.
Is there somebody up there? Can you see anybody up there, Tony?
I mean, there's no way.
What about in there? Look. You look in there.
Go on, speak to me. Is there anybody there? I can hear a pigeon somewhere. Like a poop poop.
Can you?
Come, just come a little bit closer.
No, because it'll probably attack us.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. 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 There's bits falling down everywhere, man. Look, it's that white stuff again. Look.
It follows you wherever you go, Ken.
Look at that.
If there's anyone here, please tell me your name. Death. What's your name?
What the hell?
Your pigeon can't do that.
Look at all that, man. Look at it all.
Speak to me. All of the metalwork seems to move. Death again.
Why death? Well, yeah, it's a dead pigeon.
Why did you die? Did you die here?
Maybe.
Were you killed here? Death. Ever so. Normally, when we put the necromancer on, you get the odd noise. It has been constant since we came in here. Oh,
It's vibrating,
but
isn't it?
you feel it kind of going.
Yeah.
It's your whole body in here. Hey! Did you hear somebody whisper?
There's noises all the time in here. I'm perplexed how that could die. That pigeon there. How could it?
Everybody's going to die somewhere.
Yeah, we just on the windowsill.
Throw him out. You said
Throw out.
throw him out. I just heard a rumble on here. That much.
Oh, the same number up there.
Spider just went there.
Oh no.
You don't like spiders either?
I don't like this. Nah. Don't like that, like.
That is something in there.
So if that's there, what the hell's up the rest of it, you wonder? You know, when you
But
think,
there's no way in there.
no, there's not.
What is there? No. No, that's all blocked. So how would you, if you were a... Can't tell me it's a ghost pigeon, for heaven's sake.
Nah, because that window's blocked. All these windows are blocked.
That's ridiculous.
All of them are blocked.
That's crazy. It's impossible, look. I was hoping to rationalise that by saying, obviously there's a gap somewhere and there's a pigeon got in. There's no way a pigeon's going to get in there.
Yeah.
It does feel like that though, doesn't it? of course round here,
Very strange.
already started to get a little bit dark.
There's a headstone.
The cool thing about this
So
whole
for the
place,
night vision over here somewhere, is this just the haunted bit?
yeah, absolutely.
I'll go and get it. It's just there.
It's all right.
Well, I'll go back in there.
Oh no, it's just on the side, on the coffin.
Kenny's been attacked by a pigeon that's scraped him across the head. Something that we've wanted to do for years. But also, I was quite shaken by it. I was surprised by that. There's a dynamic. Did you hear that? It was a noise from inside the building, like somebody dropping something. Just I can't.
There's something in there.
But it's big.
Yeah.
I mean, that vibration thing's ridiculous.
It's like, you know, these industrial big fans when they're going.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, isn't it?
Yeah, because it affects everything that's below
Vibrating all the
it.
way through.
Are these headstones, do you think?
I think they're probably just lumps of rock from. Unless there's any iconography on them. I mean, they could just be parts of the old building that they've dug up. Yeah. Although I must say, is there writing on any of them? I don't think so. I think they could just be stones. But the weird thing about this, and now it's starting to get dark, and we're starting to see this place for what it really is. Look at the stones. Look at how amazing. And these are all part of old Gisborough Priory. Look at them. Amazing. Circular things there. Amazing. But because what they say is that this whole place, especially this place here, may well have started off being an old Roman fort. And they found a cavalry helmet which is internationally known. It's a famous artefact that they dug up here called the Guisborough helmet.
Right.
And it looks almost like a king's crown, but it goes down a bit at the back.
Yeah.
And then with a guard, like a neck guard, to stop people
Right.
like cutting at you. And they established that it was a Roman cavalry helmet from way back. You know, when the Romans ruled the roost here. And again, a point that I always kind of labour, because everybody says, Britain, we've never been slaves.
Yeah.
When the Italians ruled us, the Romans essentially, there was a legion said to be based here, and they were called Hispana.
Right.
Now, Hispana means of Spain, because when the Romans conquered all of Europe pretty much, every country they went to, they demanded that the sons of the people that they captured enrolled in the Roman army. So the people can't fight against the Roman army because they'd be fighting against their own children.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do that. So all over the world, like in the West End of Newcastle, the small cavalry on the small horses, if you remember the story.
I do.
Spanish. Horses, always a Spanish thing usually, because some of the best horses in the world. The Roman 9th Legion, Hispana, were based here. Now they were unforgiving, let's put it that way. Anybody that stood against them, they wiped them out. And what they did, and this is interesting, you know when people talk about curses, and they say, I'm not sure curses work. Well, see what you think of this. The 9th Legion, when they were based here, anybody that spoke out against them, and a lot of people did because up north were a gassy lot, let's face it, but anybody that stood against them, men, women and small children, they decided to create a pit of wild dogs, and anybody that stood against them, they'd hurl them into the pit and they'd be torn to pieces by the wild dogs. Now the people here despised the Romans, not so much because they'd conquered Britain, because you kind of got to get used to it after a while. However, the fact that they threw a small child in with a pack of dogs to be torn to pieces, and if, as I've seen a pack of hounds tearing a fox apart, it's not anything you really want to see. It's disgusting. Men, women and children died that way. So, according to the Pagan Chronicles, it's very rare I can actually quote them, they said that soothsayers and mystics of Guisborough, which is essentially anybody that didn't believe in Christianity, cursed the 9th Legion Now you say, okay, you cursed a Roman legion. What's a curse going to do to one of the most powerful war machines of its time? Well, about 2 years later, the 9th Legion were ordered from here to go to Scotland, to go up towards what was then the Antonine Wall, because you had the Antonine Wall and you had Hadrian's Wall, which was the big one. What they were trying to do was, Hadrian's Wall, they built the Antonine first, but they couldn't defend it. So they had to fall back to Hadrian with the thought, well, once we've got that nailed, we'll move a bit forward, we'll move up to the Antonine Wall. Once we've conquered that, it's not a bad technique, and it's the one they've used all over the world. However, the 9th Legion headed off into Scotland. They were never seen nor heard of again. They were completely wiped out, and nobody knows truly. There's lots of stories, lots of myths and legends, but nobody knows for sure whatever happened to them. So maybe that curse from the Guisborough folk, maybe it did its thing. Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
Yeah.
See, but I'll drop another one before the end of the show. I just think there's something here. And I think the darker this gets, the more it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Down this middle area is a thing called Monk's Walk. Now remember, share, got some amazing Viking tales to share with you too.
But it's so imposingly look.
Oh my goodness.
Kenny, that's not on that camera. Nah. Turned it off before. What?
Like a gunshot said, did you not hear that?
I heard that, yeah.
Was it like a gunshot?
I don't know. This would have picked it up, the mic.
Honestly, when you walk down here, there's enough pieces to...
Very...
Yeah, the dog as well.
Yeah, I heard the dog.
Yeah. I just keep thinking, is it me imagining it? Or
No, I definitely heard the dog. It was actually, seemed like it was down that way.
Aye, down that way.
Yeah.
But then that was like gunshots, wasn't it?
It sounded
Like
a bit
four
like
very
that.
quick ones. That was just,
Strange.
why would there be? You wouldn't be allowed. Surely.
It doesn't look like there's anything. I think there might be a river down here. No? I don't know. Josh just said there was a river down, or maybe it was over that side.
It's a weird place, so there's some strange stuff going on here. These trees are really done.
Might have blown down, mightn't it?
Possibly, and then they just sort of
Yeah.
piled on top of each other. That's a gate there.
Oh.
A lot of different noises from all over, and you're thinking, what the hell is it? It's hard to pinpoint where they're coming from.
Animal taxi.
A lot of bird noises as well, though.
Yeah. I'll be wondering what we're doing roaming around here, probably.
That was weird, that pigeon went through my hair. Like things just walking around in here and just...
Yeah. Especially when it's dark.
Yeah.
Which it's going to be dark pretty soon.
It's getting that way, isn't it? Quite creepy. So this is Nun's Walk.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's Monk's Walk.
Monk's Walk.
Monk's Walk. Oh no. Look at that one. Why is that like that? There's things in here that just don't make sense. Oh, look at that chair one.
Wow.
The way that's been carved out for someone. That is amazing, isn't it? I'm in it. Oh, that is perfect, man. Do you know that's so comfortable?
That must have been a big tree trunk.
And you would never think it would be, Tony. Have a seat. Seriously. Can you sit with your camera?
Yeah.
That is so comfortable when you sit right back into it.
Oh.
And you didn't think it wouldn't be.
That looks good.
Isn't it?
It is. Very comfy.
Hell? Did you hear that? You must have heard that today.
Sticks might be Alan because he's coming up.
No, it was this way. It was that way.
What have you got?
It sounded like something just going through the trees. Have you seen that seat?
Whoa,
It's so comfortable when you sit back in it. You might not want to get back up again, mind. Honestly, it is really comfortable when you sit right back in it.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Stop! Stop! Now, I've just walked down the Monk's Walk that you walked down.
Right.
And what I got was stuff moving. You know, when you walk and
as you walk, the trees are moving.
Yeah.
And then when you get past that tree stops moving, and then the next tree starts moving.
Right.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
And this whole place has 1,000 stories. So don't forget, share, please. Share us as much as you possibly can. We're getting into the zone now. Stuff's starting to feel, it's starting to happen. I know they're using natural wood in the way that the ancients used to use them. They used them as thrones.
Yeah.
They used them as ceremonial areas. And I think that's what this thing is here. I don't know whether you've noticed it. This whole thing here, they've kind of recreated what the ancients would use. You'd find some part of nature that had come to an end of its use, like an old rotted tree or whatever, and you turn it into an area where you would come for ceremony. And whether they've done it on purpose or whether it's just happened, look at this. Look at it.
Also, actually, really pretty.
It is, but if you notice, the thing about nature is even when something dies, now that's dead.
Yeah.
Look at what, it's alive.
Yeah.
You see the ivy climbing up it.
Yeah.
And before you know where you are, that will be like that one.
Yeah, it will. It'll be covered, won't it?
It'll be completely covered because nature doesn't waste a thing ever. If Kenny, for example, dropped down dead, and look at him, it's possible. Within an hour, you'd have maggots.
Oh,
you'd
nice.
have stuff eating your insides out.
Well, that will keep them going anyway.
Flies would land on you, lay their eggs. The eggs would turn into larvae. They'd climb in your lung.
Oh.
They'd climb in any other orifice you've got.
I'm so looking forward to death.
No matter how unsanitary we may think they are.
I'm going to come back and haunt you.
Do you know, I really wouldn't put that past them either. But I love the fact that they haven't just got the trees down and they've left them so that nature can claim them back again.
Yeah, I'll put that camera on now, Kenny. It's getting dark enough.
Yeah.
Right, brilliant.
Sure.
Because what I would love you to do with a night vision is to go back up that wall and have a walk around and see it proper, because that is tremendous.
Great.
Have you felt anything? What was that whoosh sound thing that you
But
said?
there's a whoosh through there. Did you not hear the bangs as well?
No.
We thought it was a gun. Like a gun went.
What?
Did you not hear it?
Did you catch it on your mic, Tony?
You would have caught on there.
Yeah, I think the big mic
Quite loud. It sounded like 4 gunshots.
What?
And I was thinking, are they letting us shoot guns here? Right there.
Did you see that as well?
I've just seen something just through them trees just there.
Just there?
Yeah.
That's where I saw it. What did you see though? I saw just something black.
Black. A black. Yeah.
There's something black moving, Tony, down here.
You don't need your torch for this one.
Right, so I'll turn the torch off and just go
Yeah,
for a
it's
walk
nice.
with this.
Yeah.
That was just through them trees.
Down here, Tony, let's check it out.
Right, I'm going for a walk with this. Oh, there's the barrel.
It was just down here, Tony, down there. I know there's a road at the
Can't see a thing. You need your torch on for that. For show people that.
I'll walk round here.
Alright mate, good luck.
Probably need to split the stream here.
Right. Blimey already. We're just getting going. We've had strange whooshes. We had an amazing, really odd thing happen in one of the towers of the old Gisborough Priory. We're now in that wood that links to Pond Wood, where there's the story of a miracle, and there's a less attractive story about Vikings that I'm just about to tell you. However, we've just literally, in the last few moments, there's a road in the distance. You can sometimes see cars going down. But we've just seen something, both of us, big, black, 6 foot-ish, but not man-shaped, just a black thing, just went like that. And I'm thinking, well, could it be a reflection from a car on the road? Well, not really, because it was literally 5 feet over this fence. Oh, what? Oh, Tony. It's literally just around the corner here, mate. Stuff moving about. Look at it.
Shame it's no entry.
Yeah, well, we're got to be able to get through there because of the nettles. Right.
So we need to split the stream.
Oh, sorry. I got distracted because there was definitely something moving down there. Right. Tony, if people would like to watch the next bit, the juicy bit.
And the night vision, we've got the new Mark II camera, so that'll be on as well.
Mark II's with us now, we've got the night vision. Got a lot more investigating to do. We're in an amazing place, Gisborough Priory. What are you going to see? What have you already seen? Screenshot us it. Talk to us on the Blah on Tuesday, where we do a debrief with you, the main eyes, because you always see more than we do, and you always share it with us too, which was great. Last debrief, of course, we showed you the picture of those two mummies from last week's show. Incredible. If they want to join us, what do they have to do, Tony?
Yeah, if you're on Facebook, go to the video description and subscribe, and then part 2 will become visible. And if you're on YouTube, join the channel, and all your part 2s mixed in with the night vision will be there.
So please join us. Viking, blood, guts and death, and kind of cuddliness, which you wouldn't necessarily expect, right here after this. Right,